the Soul Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. This is episode 426. We're getting up there. Someone asked me what I would do when I get to episode 666. Well, I'm going to bring a Bible with me, okay? I'm going to have my Soul Not For Sale shirt on or my God First shirt on, and we're going to roll through that episode with the power of Christ. That's what we're going to do. If you're Muslim, bring Allah, okay? If you're Jewish, bring Hashem, right? We're going to walk with God in that episode. That's all. That's what we do. We do not shudder at number 666. We do not shudder at that number. We walk through it with power. Power of Christ. Power of God. Power of good. Anyway, let's get into it. It's Joe Rogan. It's Ice Cube. They're talking about the corruption of the world, basically. Joe Rogan touches on social credit systems and social credit scores and the people who are trying to usher that in. And he asks Ice Cube the question, would he ever run for office, any political office, mayor, president? And Ice Cube has some very choice words for what he thinks about politicians. And he gets into some stuff that he's found out about the government with people that he's actually spoken to. Very interesting stuff. Before I get into that, though, I have to bring you to the store. This is IamCoachColin.com. This is the Great Resist shirt. Resist. Do not join the Great Reset. Join the Great Resist instead. And of course, everybody knows that we have the patented Soul Not For Sale shirt. Now, again, this is at IamCoachColin.com. If you want a discount for 10%, you put in I am Coach Colin, all one word, all capital letters, one L on the Colin. That'll get you 10% off. And if you've bought anything from this site, bought anything? Thank you so much. You are much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have no idea how much it means to us. And I'm showing you guys the Soul Not For Sale shirt because I'm going to be making something of a very patriotic design very, very soon. That should expect that to be released hopefully today. Hopefully I get that done today. All right, let's get into this actual clip though. Let's get rid of that. Pull up this clip and let's get right into it. Where is it?
He's dealing with the same people we probably all are dealing with. And it's really time for us to really come up with a plan on how we're going to deal with this. Because
real quick, he's talking about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and how Robert F. Kennedy is dealing with the same people, quote unquote, the they that we're all dealing with. And I really like the way Ice Cube brings that up. He's bringing it up, but not so much. He's like, he's probably dealing with the same people we're all dealing with. These shadow people, these behind the scenes people that we don't see, but we are very sure they exist. Let's get back into it.
It's just going to continue to happen.
Yeah.
It's just going to continue to happen. I don't have all the answers. But I think we need to collectively start to, not just give a pass to people doing things like this. And we got major outlets that's not delivering the right message to the people. Not delivering the right message. Basically steering them the way that, these super rich people want us to go. And it's not cool.
No, it's not. And I'm hoping people wake up enough to at least slow it down. Because these people are pushing in a very obvious and very specific direction. They want digital currency, centralized digital currency that they control. And they want to get everybody on a social credit score system. They'll probably connect it to some sort of a vaccine app. Or if you want to travel around, all they would need is another pandemic to try to push that shit through. And they're already talking about that. It's very spooky. Because when you look into the history of this lab and them funding it and this getting out and the way they responded to it, the whole thing is so scary because it was effective. It was effective and very, very financially effective. I mean, they made a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
And if they could do something similar again and then clamp down more on people, that's what scares me. This talk of centralized digital currency, that's what they have in China. If you fuck up in China and you get a bad social credit score because you tweeted something they didn't like, now you can't buy a plane ticket. Now you can't buy a car.
Yeah.
Now you can't get a loan. Now you can't do something. You step the fucking line, and people self-censor because they don't want to be a part of that. Now they got you.
Yep, they got you. Once you self-censor,
yeah,
got you where they want you.
Yeah, we know that they were involved in Twitter. We know that the government was involved in silencing different voices. They stopped that Hunter Biden laptop story from getting out before the election. It's so obviously dirty shit.
I did a record called Everything's Corrupt. And it is when you really look around, man. It's like, where is the people that's doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Where they at?
Have you thought about doing anything with politics?
No, I would never. I would never do nothing with politics. Like,
does anybody try to pressure you?
What you mean?
Like, Cube, you should run for mayor.
I tell them I'm already the mayor. It's like, only thing I would do, I said, king me. Just only thing I would accept is
they turn you into a king.
Turn me into a king. President, politician, begging ass politician, powerless puppet. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I talked to one guy who actually spends the money that the government allocates. So, that Congress say this industry is going to get this many billions. It's up to him to say where that money goes. And I'm like, well, how often do you talk to people at Congress? He said, never. He said, they can't even get me on the phone. I'm like, what? He's like, yep. He said, these people can't even get me on the phone, man. I don't listen to them. You know what I mean? I just tell them where the money got to go.
Wow. So he gets to decide?
He's part of the government that, when they allocate the money, it goes to these different agencies and departments, and then they allocate where it goes. They can't spend any of it, so they can't take it, but they can spend it.
And then they can develop relationships with the people they give the money to.
Yeah, so the people in Congress are, to me, actually powerless. They're just theater at the end of the day.
Well, they're theater who also gets the inside trade.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing.
Exactly. I mean, they know where that money's going.
Yeah.
They might not be able to touch it, but they can be on the other end and make sure they, their investments are carved out and they make a pretty penny off of it.
Well, not only that, they do it openly in front of everybody. And it's not illegal. And every time people call to ban it, they like Nancy Pelosi's like, what? No, we're not going to do that. Why would we do that?
Yeah.
The lady's worth $200 million. She makes $200,000 a year.
Yeah, right.
She's better at stock trading than Warren Buffett and George Soros.
Yeah. Why wouldn't she be? She know where all the body. I mean, she know where everything is gonna hit.
She crazy.
Know what's gonna hit, when it's gonna hit, and how much it's gonna hit for.
And unless that's illegal, fuck you. Like fuck your whole system.
Exactly, because it's easy to corrupt these people. You know what I mean? It's all money.
Wow. I don't know if anybody caught this, but when he was just talking about I wish I knew the exact timestamp of that, because when he was just talking about Nancy Pelosi, he just went, she knows where all the bodies, she knows where all the money's going. I don't know if I misheard that, but I'm pretty sure that's what he just said. I wish I could find the exact.
Can't even get me on the phone, man.
I wish I could find it. I don't think I can find it. He's like, he said something about bodies.
So, the people in Congress, they might not be able to touch it, but they can be on the other end and make sure their investments are carved out and they make a pretty penny off of it.
Well, not only that, they do it openly in front of everybody. And it's not illegal. And every time people call to ban it, they like Nancy Pelosi's like, what? No, we're not going to do that. Why would we do that?
Yeah.
The lady's worth $200 million. She makes $200,000 a year.
Yeah, right.
She's better at stock trading than Warren Buffett and George Soros.
Yeah. Why wouldn't she be? She know where all the body. She know where everything is gonna hit.
He did almost say bodies. Whoa. Ice Cube, man. If that's the way you do it, that's the way you do it. He's doing it perfectly. You don't go all out screaming and ranting and raving. You just kind of give it a slow drip. You say what you can, you don't jeopardize all your businesses and everything. You do it in a slow drip so you can keep on doing it everywhere you go. You can go to this podcast and that podcast, and no one gets up in arms with anything that you've said, but everybody who's aware is hearing what you're talking about. And anybody who's like clicking in can go and check into what you're talking about. But he just said she knows where the bodies are, and then he stopped and said where the money's at. Ugh. That's actually amazing. And yeah, that was the choice words he had for politicians, which kind of makes sense. He doesn't seem like he's the only top politician I've heard him talk kindly about is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And it wasn't even like a stunning, comment. He was just like, the guy seems like he's willing to deep dive and talk real. But that's more than he said for any other politician. Begging ass politician, as he puts it. But what would you guys do? Would you guys have a Ice Cube as the king? Obviously not. He's obviously joking, but just very interesting to hear his take on all this stuff. He's usually even more conservative about the way he talks. This is the most open I've seen him talk. When he was on the Full Send podcast, I talked about this before. He was just talking about how the black people of today are very brainwashed by the Democratic Party, and that's kind of where he left it. He didn't say much else. He brought up a couple of conspiratorial things, but not too much. But this time he's really opening up about some stuff, and it's probably because he's feeling the censorship. Just to bring it up here, that logo that's on his shirt, that's his basketball league. He has a 3-on-3 basketball league, and he's been getting censored by the NBA and by news outlets, and it's wearing thin with him. He's getting pissed, like anybody would be. He can feel the gatekeeping going on, and luckily Joe Rogan brought him on his podcast. And just so anybody knows, this is not the last podcast he's doing. He's announced that this is a podcast tour that he's doing, where he's going to speak out on people who are censoring him and things that are going on in the world. So expect more from Ice Cube, and I'll definitely bring it to you as soon as it drops. Somebody mentioned something that I would love to see as well, is him talking to Tucker. I would love to see him talking with RFK Jr. So many different people that I would love to see him talking to. Hopefully it all happens. But that was Ice Cube giving his take on politics and the government and everything like that, the insider trading that they all do, and who knows where the bodies are. Like the video. It helps so much. You have no idea. It boosts us out of the shadow realm. We need help clawing our way out of the shadow realm. I don't like to do the beeps and the blips and all that stuff that a lot of people do on their channels. I kind of just bring it as raw as I can, and we need help. Help us out. The like is somewhere down there, and you've been seeing it up there, so hit that like button, please. Share it if you feel called to. If you have that one friend who you like to just hound with this type of content, throw it at them. Why not? Wake them up a little bit. It's important we shake people awake every once in a while, just to make sure they don't fall too deeply asleep. But I'm bringing you guys more. There's going to be more Ice Cube clips for sure. And other than that, I am out. Episode 426.